Right now we want to go to meteorologist Michelle with the latest on a tornado warning. Michelle.
Yeah, that's right. Brittany and I were just about to come on air to give you the latest weather forecast, but a tornado warning has now been issued for Berks County. Just getting new information in by the National Weather Service. This is going to go until 6:45. We've been talking all day long about all those ingredients coming together and that we might have the opportunity to see a severe thunderstorm warning or even a tornado warning. So this does not mean a tornado was confirmed, but it does mean that radar detected rotation enough in those upper levels and that we are starting to see some spin, which we did assume we would see with some of those discrete cells. So let's take you in closer for a look here. Anywhere you are where you see that red box, that is where we're seeing just some very heavy rainfall. So Sinking Spring, you are just seeing some drenching downpours that are going on right now. Colonial Hills, you're seeing that too, all the way down to Springdale Heights. This extends out into the Redding area. We were just watching some of those isolated cells that we mentioned that would start to pop up across Berks County, Lehigh, Northampton, and this is where we're starting to see them come to fruition first. So again, this is a newly issued tornado warning by the National Weather Service, and this will continue on until 6:45. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a tracker on this so we can detect the direction in which this is moving and also the speed in which the storm is moving as well. All right, we are going to be tracking this again as we go on here and continue with you, but you can just see that reflectivity showing you that very heavy rainfall that is occurring here from Sinking Spring to Redding all the way down to Colonial Hills. Let's go ahead and see if I can zoom out. I'll look at this tornado watch box area. You can see it's one of those cells that is also producing some hail. I'll go ahead and turn on the interactive radar, and then this is going to give me the ability just to give you a little bit more of some information as we zoom in here. It looks like it's tracking northeast at this time. You can see that forward motion here. What I'll do is I'll also go ahead and track this out so we can get some counties going on here as we watch this track its way pretty much here to the northeast. Brittany, do you have a time or a speed for that cell?
Yes, it is tracking to the east right now at about 20 miles per hour. So we're putting a tracker on this right now. Again, this is for Berks County. This is going to be staying in effect for the next 30 minutes or so until 6:45. We have a severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado. It was located near Adamstown, and it is tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. So if we zoom out here, we just want to show you where they identified this about 5 minutes ago. Again, that was near Adamstown. So if you're familiar with this, this is just to the south of Vinemont, and this is all tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. Everyone that is included in this tornado warning, we're just going to start calling off some of these neighborhoods. And these are the neighborhoods you need to put into your severe weather plan, which includes heading to the lowest level of your home. You want to stay away from any windows. You want to just make sure you turn up the TV and head down to your lowest level. So again, hopefully you have a basement. If you do not have a basement, you want to try to get to your bathroom, an area that has no windows. Let's call off all of the neighborhoods that are inside of this tornado warning. That includes Beckersville, Birdsboro, Browns Mills, Exeter, Alsace, Redding is all under this tornado warning. Sinking Spring, and again, we know that this is tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. So if you are mainly east of Adamstown, you need to start making your plan right now. So these are some names that are very interesting here, but we're still going to call them off. If you're closer to Cedar Top Road, Museum Road, this could potentially be very close to your area. I'm going to turn off our storm tracker. We're in velocity mode right now. And what that tends to do is show us, we're looking for a coupling here. I'm also going to turn off our warning just so we can get a better view of potentially where we're seeing a bit of coupling, which we like to see.
I can circle that for you. You want me to circle that?
Yes,
yeah,
sure.
Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can do that with that windshield here that we have here. But you can see it here. This is what the area that Brittany is talking about here. When you see that area of rotation where you get some reds and also some greens, and you get that tightly compacted look, it's not very bright, so that tells me that this is weak rotation that Brittany was talking about. This interstate here, 176 that you're seeing just to the north of Beckersville. There you go. Yeah, so this is the area that we're watching here. this is where they've identified some of that rotation. Radar indicated, again, this is radar indicated rotation, so that is why they've issued this. And Brittney, we were talking about how later on tonight this would become more linear, but this is very isolated in nature, and we knew we were going to see some of these discrete cells as we would go on through the first part of this whole scenario here, and that's what you're seeing. So looks like around Exeter, just to the southeast there of Reading, that's where you're seeing it, and really a Cedar Top Road. And you know, you have to remember that a lot of these radar scans that you're seeing are 3 to 5 minutes behind. So basically you want to just time that out, and you already do want to get to your safe space. Again, as Brittney said, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Go to the lowest portion of your home. If you have a basement, you can go there. You can also go to a bathroom, more interior place away from the windows. Take a mattress with you, things like that, some pillows. Just that way you can keep yourself surrounded just in case you do have some of those strong gusty winds. Do we have reports for, since we're getting a velocity signature, I'm sure they have just some of the gusts that we're expecting this to really kick up, Brittney?
So again, we want to emphasize, Michelle, this area Flying Hills right now. This is where we're seeing the red and green come together. So anytime we're dealing with a little couplet like that, this tends to indicate that we are seeing some rotation here. So again, if you know anyone closer to Flying Hills, or if you live just to the east, because we know that this potential tornado is tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. So what we like to do once we identify that area is to put a tracker on this area and track it out to the east at around 20 miles per hour. So actually I need to adjust a few things here, and then we start tracking. So if we push this to the east, areas like Lorraine, you have until about 6:30, you have about 9 minutes to get to your safe space. If you're closer to Exeter at 6:33, potentially this cell could be closer to you. Farming Ridge at 6:37. The important thing to remember with this, just like you said, this is a few minutes old potentially. So again, you only have a short amount of time to move. Anyone that's inside of this tornado warning, which will be in effect until 6:45, you need to start moving now. We have a general area of where this could be. This is velocity mode. So where we're seeing the red and green couple up together, I will circle it one more time for you, just so you can get a pretty good idea of what we're tracking here. Again, let's go ahead and put it in motion so we can see how this is progressing. We've been watching this for about 10 minutes now, and you can see it's tracking to the east, but a little bit to the northeast as it's coming through Cumru here up towards the Reading area, just to the south of the Reading area. We have that couplet that we're watching. So we know that anywhere to the east of this particular region is of concern. So we want to emphasize again, if you live closer to Reading, Exeter, Lorraine, Friedensburg Road, Butter Lane, Lakeland Road, you want to take shelter right now. And just to go over some of the things that you need to remember when we talk about tornado safety, we'll just punch this up momentarily so that you can get an idea of what you need to be doing. Hopefully you already have your safety plan in place. You want to get to the lowest floor of your home. You want to move away from any windows or doors. You want to shelter in an interior space or a room. You want to evacuate any mobile homes and do not seek shelter under any overpasses. So again, we're going to go back to velocity mode. We always go into velocity mode during these types of tornado warnings because it tends to show us potentially where the rotation could be. This tornado warning is going to be staying in effect until 6:45. We have 20 more minutes. It is tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. So this is affecting areas like Reading. You are just right to the south of this tornado warning. You're probably seeing or hearing really strong wind gusts. You are definitely dealing with a little bit of rotation here.
And Brittney, I think if you also turn on the reflectivity, not just velocity, but it could be hard to see some things when you're talking about the heavy rainfall rates that we were just reading that you could be seeing with these storms. So if you want to just go ahead and query, and that means that we're just going to get information from this cell in particular, pretty much where she was detecting some of that rotation, that is what you're going to see. This is what we're talking about, these heavy rainfall rates that can make it very difficult to see even if there is a tornado in place. So you have that about 1.75 inches there per hour. That is just torrential downpours that are coming down right now around Lancaster Avenue. You're just going there to the south of Reading. You can see that all the way down to Lancaster as well. But this cell in particular that you're mentioning here, It looks like that is just dealing with very, very heavy rainfall at this time. So again, making it difficult to see. You can see that velocity signature, as you said, a lot of lightning associated with it. So that just tells you that it is an active cell. Don't see much for any debris. Again, this is just radar indicated. So that just means that we're detecting some rotation in the atmosphere.
I think at this time it looks like the tornado warning has been
Expired.
canceled. Yes.
Okay.
So we're still seeing those severe thunderstorms. Everything is still tracking to the east, but the active tornado warning looks like it was expired a bit early.
All right, so we will continue to be tracking this for everybody as we go on. Those are the individual cells that we had been mentioning that we could potentially be seeing. And again, we saw at least one tornado warning so far this evening. Still have a long ways to go as our first alert will continue. As we've started this at 4 p.m., we just now saw our first tornado warning here just before around 6:20, and now we'll continue to follow this line as it moves through the Lehigh Valley. And remember, we will watch this track all the way through the I-95 corridor between 6 and 9, and then that first alert also continues on from 6 to midnight across parts of South Jersey and Delaware. Wind primarily the main threat, but as we said, we could see some of these spin up, which we have, but again, it was just radar indicated at this time. Jackie.
Michelle Rotella and Brittney Shipp, thank you for that coverage of the Berks County tornado warning, now expired.